The fact that you were able to put this to music in a body of work is what makes Kendrick Lamar, I'll keep going back to it, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
He didn't have to leave the drums out to be heard. Going back to how we started.
All right.
I'm just saying.
No,
like,
all right.
No, but that's the bar, though,
right,
bro.
okay, I get it.
Rap Life Review. We are here, man, courtesy of Apple Music. Every week we come together, talk about the goings-on around the culture of hip-hop, talk about the music, talk about the conversations, and then maybe we'll bring some other things to the table that may interest you. I'm Ebro. I'm your host here every week alongside Low, Eddie. Nadeska's on assignment. We got to hit the music things first.
Of course.
Okay? We had an album from Conway the Machine.
Yes.
I definitely drove around to that. Conway delivers yet again.
Of course.
Staying consistent. Any comments? Because you know Eddie didn't listen to that album.
Nah, he didn't. But it's just like, yo.
Wait.
Okay, all right.
I started to listen to the album, and then I got about like 4 tracks in, and I ain't hear that many drums. And I was like, man, Conway, I love the way you rap. I love what you're rapping about, but just give me some drums, dog. And he don't ever give me no drums.
It's a great point what you're saying. That has become a trend lately, too.
What, no drums?
No drums at all.
But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with hearing pure...
He don't like it.
Huh?
Oh,
He don't
listen,
think
bro,
he like it.
You don't like it? It's not
subject-
boom bap.
Nah, man, I need a beat. I need some, bro. Like, I love what you rapping about, my dude. But just 0 drums. Plus, if we being honest, this is just what they say on Twitter. I'm gonna edit it a little bit. Kanye kind of makes scare the ladies music. It's definitely music that scares the ladies.
Listen, I'm not a big fan of drumless hip hop myself.
I'm not mad about the drumless hip hop because it allows us to strip down and really listen to the lyrical ability of said rapper. And I think Conway did that very well. And I like how he's trying to change up his production style and give us a different perspective of his ear. So Conway, I'm not mad at the no drums.
I like what you're saying, but I would also like to add that while there have been songs and projects that I've liked that are drumless hip hop,
Yeah.
I definitely don't think it's something that helps accentuate lyrics or what someone's saying.
Perfect example.
Like, for instance, matter of fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and it's probably gonna be unpopular. If you have to remove the drums for us to understand what you're saying, then that doesn't make you dope. That actually makes you whack.
No. I'm not saying he had to do that.
I'm not saying he had to.
Yeah.
I'm saying hip hop in general. Because I hate shit that is not fucking got a beat on it. Like, I'm being honest with y'all. Like, there's been a lot of this shit lately where motherfuckers think they could just loop a little sample and rhyme over it, and that's the end all be all. And it ain't for everybody. I like what Conway did. I even like the Larry June Alchemist shit.
Yeah.
That was drumless hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It happens right every now and then. It ain't for everybody, man.
There's one song on Swizz put out that project a couple weeks ago, right? And he has a joint with Jay Electronica. It's the last record on the project. That shit is drumless, and that shit is classic.
That's a Jay Electronica thing too. Like, he does a lot of music with no drums. Yeah.
Yeah, nah, I'm not here for all the time. I need to hear you put a song together. I'm not just here for you rapping and you can't construct a song. I think I mean, look, obviously people love it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You
but
think
I just think that
sometimes it's lazy.
I think it's lazy.
Okay.
Because y'all don't want to have to work to find a pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I get rappers, I've had some conversations, but you know, the drums limit my ability to But then you're not respecting the music. You think you're more important than the music. You think what you have to say is more important than the music, and I'm not going to ever go there with nobody on that. But anyway, go get that Conway the Machine. Phenomenal project. Also, I like the IDK F65.
I heard a lot of good things.
I don't know if y'all spent any time on that. It's 22 tracks. It took me I ain't all the way through it yet.
Yo, you know there's some new music that is coming out that's not here just yet. Russ sent me his project.
Did that drop this past week?
It's coming soon. I think it's Chomp 2.5.
We'll give Russ his time.
I just wanted to...
We don't need you name dropping just because you just got a text from a rapper.
Yo,
God damn.
Yo, you see this shit?
I'm just saying, like, some new music is coming down.
Russ shit ain't even out. He sent it to me,
just
too.
saying, like, bro, I'm like, it's coming down.
Yo, man, let these
that's
people
great.
get their shit. Armani White's on here repping Philly. He put out an EP.
Yeah.
The homie Belly put out a single. And Gucci Mane put out a single.
Yeah, I heard all of it.
Damn, bro. Yo, man, what's up with your man,
this is
bro?
why we're in this. All right.
MGK decided he wanted to start rapping again. He has heard Jack Harlow say that he's the second best white rapper rapping, basically. I'm
Behind
paraphrasing.
Eminem.
Behind Eminem. And here come MGK.
Out of nowhere.
He decided to put down his guitar, Or maybe he kept his guitar. I don't know. But anyway, he was in the backyard and had to get to these bars. Now, we've known for a long time MGK could rap.
Yes.
We've seen him go to battle with the other white guy, Eminem, before.
Yes.
They've traded
sparred,
things. So we've seen that. I'm fine with MGK jumping in here and seizing the moment to say something.
As he should.
The only caveat I would add would be Jack Harlow spoke about rappers like you on his album, MGK. And he said they don't love it. It's a whole song about it. It's called They Don't Love It. Because you abandoned rap to go chase other music, which is fine. That's your own prerogative. You're a talented guy.
As a creative, you should.
Right? But don't get inspired now and want to come back to rap that somebody's putting a flag down.
But
because you should have been inspired the whole time.
Maybe he was. Maybe he felt like he did everything that he wanted to do.
Okay.
And now he thinks that someone is actually saying that you aren't enough, or you're not important, or we don't care about you no more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think MGK proved that, let's not go that far. Because I can do this at any time, any place, anywhere.
Well, then do a whole album.
Well, maybe he don't, but he just wants to prove that, you're not that nice.
No, we know you can rap. But if you can't do a whole project or don't want to do a whole project, then we've moved on. And MGK's my guy. Like, I'm not even saying this as somebody,
but is that
like,
a problem?
I know him.
But is that a problem that he doesn't want to do a whole
rap album? Not a problem.
album?
I don't have a problem. I just said it's a caveat. Like, I love that he jumped in and wanted to spar, and all that's cool, and he had something to say, and I was entertained by it.
Okay, so by evaluation of the actual diss.
Oh, I thought it was good. It was really good.
Really good.
Yeah, really good.
Does Jack respond, or does Jack just walk away because he baited him?
I think if I'm Jack, because I'm doing this rap thing full time,
right,
I keep it moving until you want to do this full time.
Nah.
If it'd be one thing if you felt like you was better than that and I'm above that and that's not what I'm on, I'm just creating music. But you basically called out all the white rappers. So you wanted the smoke, you initiated. And what I will say, I got two thoughts for this. I do respect MGK being a rapper, because this is what hip hop is. Like, if you're gonna be in this hip hop culture, someone's gonna diss you, you come at them, let the bars talk. But I also applaud Jack Harlow in the conversation you were having is, I don't appreciate when people are kind of halfway in our culture, because we don't get to flip like that. Post Malone's, MGK's, the history of white rappers is when they find something lucrative, they'll dabble in rap until they can. And even be honest with you, Jack Harlow's kind of skipping a few steps now, because he gonna have White Men Can't Jump, and a lot of his peers that are just straight up rappers, they don't get to be in movies, they don't get to be as marketable and be in Kentucky Fried Chicken commercials and stuff like that.
If MGK called him out first, I could see Jack Harlow turning his nose up and walking in a different direction. It's like, bro, I got all this other shit I'm working on. Like, where the fuck did you come from? Why are you coming out? Like, you're not even rapping, this, that, and the third. Jack Harlow said, I'm the second best behind, Marshall. So if any white rapper would feel the way, I'm sure MGK would feel the way, especially battling Eminem and somewhat handling Eminem. So if I can handle him, you're a walk in the park. And he showed us that, Jack is a walk in the park. So Jack does need to respond.
And you think that's for Jack's credibility?
Yes.
1,000%.
Yeah. You said I'm the best.
Let's get to it.
So prove it why you're the best. And if you don't,
let's get to
it's a chink in your armor.
It's been 1 year since the Kendrick Lamar, Mr.Morale and the Big Steppers dropped. Myself, Nadeska, and Low all had commentary about, pretty quickly after the album dropped.
We sat
after, right?
We sat with it. Like that's an album we had to sit with. That was an important moment in hip hop. You don't let that breeze by.
So let's go and check out what Nadeska had to say about the Kendrick Lamar album.
It's a crazy album. Usually when I listen to our project for the first time, it's like I need to just take in like the whole song, the production, get a vibe. It was like impossible almost to pay attention to the production on this. Although it's like really good too. Yeah. This is like one of the first and few times where I'm listening to it, and it's just like the lyrics are just like screaming at you, and then I have to go back and try to enjoy the production. Does that make sense? That doesn't really happen. It's crazy.
It's phenomenal.
It's a crazy album. I didn't expect to like have so many emotions around this, to be honest. And I also feel really stupid for thinking for the past 5 years, Kendrick has been somewhere just enjoying his life because he put in so much work, when clearly that's not what was going on.
Nadeska's not here, but do we think that she would still have the same opinion of the album?
I think all of us probably would. And I think more in-depth conversations with ourselves and our peers, because we got to sit with it and because we got to really pick apart those things that were relatable to us. You know what I mean? So I think I have the same opinion. It's still difficult for me to listen, but I think it aged very, very well. I think some songs hit a little bit differently from when we first started listening. But I think it's a very solid, Grammy-worthy project.
So you already established that you would feel the same exact way.
Yes.
And here's a clip from what I had to say a year ago. Because in the Kendrick Lamar album is a lot of therapy, mental health, toxicity in relationships, and also looking in the mirror at whom you are and what you are and not being afraid to. Matter of fact, he has a song called Mirror on the album about men, specifically himself, looking in the mirror and dealing with your toxicity and breaking generational trauma.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity here, I think, as we all grow and mature and understand that people change and evolve, whom people are at one point in their life, have people should be given the space to evolve and change. And I feel the exact same way. And I'm also still I feel it's pretty remarkable. I think we're just coming off of the declaration or the headline that Kendrick Lamar's Mr.Morale tour, or Big Steppers tour, was the most lucrative hip-hop tour of all time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's variables there, right? Ticket price, amount of dates, like
venue size,
all that stuff, merch, whatever else they included in that. But nonetheless, it's up there in the conversation. So clearly there is a segment of the population that A, is willing to go and spend the time like we spent digging into a Kendrick Lamar project.
Right.
B, willing to buy a ticket and show up to a show.
And listen to that in a live setting.
And I think that is probably what I'll file away as one of the reasons Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest of all time.
If you can draw people to a concert like this with an album with the content like that and sell out so many different arenas and have these conversations with your fans live in any city, that's remarkable as hell.
Now, you may not even like it,
right,
but it's still the bar.
Right.
Because it wasn't frivolous. It was dense. It was smart. It was emotional. It was toxic. It was hard to listen to. But the musicality of the project was there. And nobody could deny the musicality of it.
It made it a little bit easier to digest. Yeah.
But I think most people that run from it, either that's not what they want hip-hop for. Like, they don't want hip-hop to play that part in their life. They just want it for the chaotic stories, the toxic stories, the club stuff, the kind of like surreal conversations around street talk, et cetera, et cetera. They don't want hip hop to.
But see, like, that's the thing. Like, with me and you and Eddie and the desk, and I'm sure all the people in here, hip hop serves every palette in my life, right? So when you have an album like Mr.Morale and the Big Steppers, that's a palette that may be difficult to taste, but it's needed and necessary in some aspects, right? So, like, when I sit with Ebro and I sit with my homeboys at the hookah spot, like, we do talk about, looking ourselves in the mirror and like, yeah, you're fucking up, or you're toxic, or you have, a problem, or this, that, and the third. But like that part of hip hop allows us to have that conversation. Now, if we want to go to the street shit, Benny the Butcher, Conway, Future, cool. There's another sector over there. The hustling part, that's phenomenal as well. If we want to go to lyrical shit, MGK or, Marshall Mathers, like, we can go there. There's different parts of hip hop that serve all of our lives. And I think sometimes it's unfair. It's like, oh, I don't want hip hop for that. It's cool, I understand that. But if this is what your culture is, like, you speak about it so crazy, every part of hip hop is your life. Every part.
Eddie, how do you feel about the Kendrick Lamar album a year removed?
I think with an album that's this deep, you got to kind of understand yourself a little bit. And for me, I'm a very empathetic person. And just in my everyday life, when I consume art, media, whatever, I'm very cautious of what I partake in. So Kendrick comes to a project, it's like, I'm going to go to therapy in an album. I appreciate that he can do that. I listened to this album today just to make sure I could gather the thoughts to appreciate what he did and sit and really understand where I sit with it. It's a tough listen, bro. It's a tough listen. And for somebody like myself, this is not what I'm choosing to do with my art. Like, I'm somebody like, you ever seen Fruitvale Station?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it one time, bro. I can't do that again. Antoine Fisher, I saw it one time. and even a lighter note, and this is gonna tell you kind of person I am. It's just to be topical. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy like this weekend. Even
saw it
that
too.
is playful and fun, but emotionally, my girl, I made her watch all the other movies, and she wants to go see the third one. It's like, I don't know if I can watch that third one so soon because I can't do that to myself emotionally. So I think it's a great album. A year later, I can't because there's skips, bro, and there are bangers. There's Die Hard, there's Rich Spirit, there's Savior. Like there's
Mirror.
songs on there I like. Mirror. I can't listen to a lot of the album, bro. And that's not because it's not good.
Yo, my joint off that I was just looking through my most played on that Kendrick. That Mr.Morale I play a lot. With Tana Leon.
Yeah.
I play that a lot, produced by Pharrell. I play the Silent Hill with Kodak a lot.
Great song.
And Die Hard I play a lot.
But for me, there's song like, come on, bro. I already said it. I listened to We Cry Together once, and I was like, never again in my life.
Now I skipped that 1,000%. I don't listen to that record. I'm not listening to that. I don't want that in my life. I don't want nobody in my life like that.
Yeah.
I grew up around that. Don't want it. I'm cool. Everybody beat it.
When I listened to it this morning, I was like, and I was trying to listen to him again. And I'm like, nah, I'm not there with it. It's heavy, bro. It's him going through therapy in an album.
But so I guess, and the other piece of it too, like,
There's nothing wrong with that.
I agree with what you're saying. It is a hard listen, and I get why most people don't want to do it. Or not most, but many people. What I do want to say is the fact that you were able to put this to music in a body of work is what makes Kendrick Lamar, I'll keep going back to it, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
He didn't have to leave the drums out to be heard. Going back to how we started.
All right.
I'm just saying.
No,
like,
all right.
No, but that's the bar, though,
right,
bro.
okay, I get it.
And we got to shout out to our YouTube commenters. You know, we love y'all. Alex Farron, he loved our review of the album, the realest review he had heard yet. This was from a year ago. AJ said he's glad people still sit down and listen to hip-hop albums like this.
Mm-hmm.
So we like that. And someone 11 months ago said this is aging like fine wine already, album of the year. I think the tap dancing metaphor was also symbolic of how Kendrick is performing his pain to the world. That was Manu. And the tap dancing is so overlooked, underrated, and a clever concept that a lot of people won't understand. That was Danash, the rapper, on the YouTube comments. Because back a year ago, that was something that jumped out to me, was the fact that, throughout the album, you had those kind of tap dancing because we're tap dancing around issues. We're tap dancing around conversations. Many of us in our own personal lives are tap dancing around getting things, addressing our own toxicities or traumas.
This is why this album is so important, because it's getting us to not only acknowledge our own bullshit, but just to see other bullshit around us. So yes, you gotta, even if you listen to it once a year, you still gotta listen to this shit because it helps you address your issues as well. And if it's therapy, if it's tough listen, life is tough. What are you gonna do?
And I also want to say, and I don't want to get too heady, but it's just a realization that I've come to how important art is on multiple levels. Because a lot of times, and you don't get a lot of it in this, but you can get a message through entertainment, and you can put like a little bit of sugar into heavy subjects and things that people in your everyday life tell you. You might not receive that message until Kendrick Lamar puts it in a song. You might not receive that message until Dave Chappelle puts it in a joke. You might not receive that message until The Watchmen puts it in a TV show, and all of a sudden now you know what happened at Black Wall Street. And a lot of times what's happening in 2022, 2023 is we're receiving real messages through art. And that's what happened with this project.
Which is why it's so important. And if you haven't, go back and listen again and again.
And if you don't, then you don't really love hip-hop like that. And Jack Harlow's got a song for you. It's called They Don't Love It, which isn't drumless hip-hop.
You got 48 hours.
Great song.
Jack, man.
Great message.
Yo, it's been a Rap Life Review. For Eddie and Low, I'm Ebro. Shout out to Nadeska. She'll be back next week. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're watching, and also make sure you add the Rap Life playlist, courtesy of Apple Music.
Hope you enjoyed that episode of the Rap Life Review. I'm Nadeska, and you can catch me here every single week with Lowkey and Ebro. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing. Give us a like and drop a comment so we can hit you back next week.